Alright, hello everyone, welcome. We are back with some more Nightfall. Let me tweet out real quick. Um, I hope you guys are doing swell. Oops, that is not how you spell come. Oh my god. Wow. I do not know how to type. I think I've typed this one word wrong 8 times now. So there you go. That shows you. Shows you how well I am in my brain. How well my brain is. My brain is so well. So well. I saw something pop up on my screen. I was like, what is that? And it was a trade person. You guys can't see it, but there's someone was trying to trade. In Guild Wars. Alright. Alright. Tweet it out. Gonna monetize the stream. Let me do that. Okay. So here we are. Got all that. Alright, coolio. So, we're ready to go. Sorry, I was thirsty. So, let me get started. Back. As we're waiting for some people to get here. Yeah, this is, so we're back with the Paragon. This bar is super expensive because we have that nothing to fear. Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see exactly how that's gonna play out. Because I seem to not get enough experience points. What's hero skills again? Let me look at this for a second. Paragon skills. Oh, I can learn motivation. See, it costs 10. It's so expensive. Oh, and we've already gotten that. Okay. I don't think he has anything new. So, yeah, some of these skills are just very expensive because they cost like 10 energy. Very pricey. So, we're gonna have to, we only get a 2 energy regeneration. Which is unfortunate. But it is what it is. So... yeah, that's okay. We'll figure it out. So, let's do a poll. I have something in mind. Alright, let's add that in. Have some fun interaction. Hi Jacob, welcome. Welcome. So kind of review. We're still on the Istani Isles. So like I said, the first couple of all in your home. To me like likely to be abandoned. Well, I didn't. I mean, I did say that yes, but it, it remains to be seen because we got to like. While yes, the feature is very interesting, and yes, they're looking to add 500 new decorations over the next year. The thing is, like, they're adding all these features, right? Sorry, what is going on with this? Thanks. So yes, the features that they're adding is great, but none of it speaks to. None of it speaks to. I don't see, even in the video or in the post or anything, I don't. Nowhere do I see a commitment to it, right? Like, they want to talk about reusing systems, which they have done now with the guild decoration system, like reusing that system, doing something new with it. Adding decorations, changing the way that you decorate, all these things, right? Which is great. I'm very excited for that. The problem that I see is the long-term commitment. Okay, I want to have a system that has a long-term commitment, that has a long-term investment, right? Where they can add new things to it. So now the only thing that I can see, I mean, I talked about a bit about it in the video where I wanted to see like, um, I wanted to see weather changes and like being able to be applied to the instance, time of day changes. So I could see that being added. Then someone mentioned, Mish King actually mentioned in the comments, a couple of other things that they could add to it, which I was like, wow, I didn't even think about that. And, it was good points, like getting, with other expansions, getting new homesteads that kind of take that place of, like, your home instance, but for that expansion, which is totally fine with different themes, in different locales and stuff. I get that. It's really cool, but, like, are we gonna be seeing, like, really cool additions to it? You know what I mean? Like, is it gonna be like raiding, where we're gonna get a new raid wing? Are we gonna get something that's equivalent to a new raid wing for housing with each new expansion? Like, for Janthia Wilds, this is a great feature, right? It's a great feature to have, but I just don't see it being something that they're gonna expand on past adding, like, because they're gonna be adding 500 pieces of decoration within the next year after the release of Janthia Wilds. That number is probably drastically gonna decline as they go into the next expansion, because the feature that they're adding decorations to is an old feature, right? And ArenaNet has this whole thing about, like, it's a new thing, it's a new expansion, so we want to concentrate on the new things. So that's just my thing. That's just my whole thing. Is like, what's the commitment past Janthia Wilds with housing? You know what I mean? So, not that I dislike the system, not that I dislike, I made the video and I'm really impressed with what they're doing, and welcome NM, Jesus, welcome. But yeah, so I am super impressed. I'm excited for the housing. I will be playing around with it. I will be doing some housing and stuff like that. My thing is just that it's like, okay, so we're adding all this effort for Janthia Wilds only for it to be forgotten, kind of thing. It's like we're adding another system in that I will see maybe within the next couple of years getting abandoned. Like guild hall, we talked about guild halls and stuff. Like, guild halls are kind of abandoned. Adding new decorations for every festival is not really actively working on guild halls and like guild missions and things you can do within the guild halls, right? So and maybe that's okay too. like it doesn't need to necessarily have, like, I guess the argument could also be made, well, we don't need to have an engagement like that. Like, we don't need to have it updated all the time. We don't need to have new things for it all the time. We just need new decorations for it, right? But I just feel like, ArenaNet wants to work on systems that they can, like, really expand on with every expansion, and have it be like relevant all the time, right? Like raiding, for example, which I think is like, is a system that has things to it and you can add to it, and it feels like a new thing for every expansion, but you're still building on an existing system. Like, that's kind of my thought process behind it. So we'll have to see. I mean, I'm not sitting here and saying like, oh my god, I see no commitment. Like, I don't know, right? Obviously, but there could perhaps be something where they're like, no, we have plans for it. Like, we have other things, other systems that we want to, things that we want to expand on beyond just adding decorations to it. Who knows, right? I don't know. So, but they can definitely expand the system in the future. Add mini pet menagerie, functional libraries, gameplay features, such then your own adventure. I feel like it will depend on how profitable it is or how much the community engages with this. It could be. The thing, unfortunately, the thing with ArenaNet is that they're not one of those people, and that's another concern that I have, because you talk about like, um, you know, like ArenaNet is going to commit to it depending on how well it does in the community, but that's never been ArenaNet's MO, right? It doesn't matter how many people you have and engaging with the system, ArenaNet might just abandon that system, right? Like, when, and again, I'm just going with what we have. Like, when Fractals came out, it was just kind of like, oh, okay, so you're abandoning dungeons, even though that is like that up until Fractals came out, dungeons were the main end game. That's fine, okay, whatever, right? And then like raiding came out, and they were doing Fractals. Ooh, a thunderstorm is coming. I don't know if you guys heard that thunder. Um, we like, if for a while we had like no raids and no fractals, right? Because they abandoned it for other things, and then now they're bringing it back, right? But it took some years, so it's like, okay, well, is it? I get that maybe they could monetize those things enough, but they were huge features of each expansion. A huge part of it was getting new raids and fractals for a long time, so and plenty of people engaged with those systems, yet ArenaNet still kind of abandoned those for a few years and kind of didn't do much with them. So the thing is, like, wow, I mean, I don't know if I can truly say, yeah, if everyone keeps decorating their homesteads and making new like racetracks and jumping puzzles and showing that off, that we will see continued support, because ArenaNet will see that. Well, like I said, guild halls are a prime example. People still use the guild halls to make really cool jumping puzzles and racetracks and like all these things, but guild halls have been completely abandoned. That whole system about how like you expand a guild hall and like all these things, tied together with the guild system, that has been completely abandoned. Doesn't matter how much you engage in it, how important it is for the game, they just abandoned it. So ArenaNet is not the type of company that like immediately listens to their player base. They always act like they know everything better. I don't know if that's based off of metrics that they have, or if there's some kind of internal system, or if there's some kind of mismanagement. I mean, there's like 100 billion reasons you could have like why that is, but that is unfortunately how it is. It's a super, as it is, it's a very impressive system with a lot of detail, and it puts to shame other housing systems and other games. Honestly, I was expecting a glorified Sun's Refuge with the guild hall decorations, and I can 100% agree with that. Like, I can 100% agree on that. It is a very well fleshed out system, very well thought out. They went totally like I said in my video today, they went either we're gonna do it all the way or we're not gonna do it at all, right? And they definitely went all the way, right? They definitely went whatever they could possibly add, they added. Okay, so it's very like, it's a really cool system. It's shaping up to be really good. And don't let my whole like, well, what about long-term like, maybe we're not gonna get a long-term investment, and that's okay too. But it is really, really cool. to like kind of have the system come into the game, and it is super exciting for a lot of people, and it's something that's been requested for a long time. So I think it's gonna be super fun. I just hope that it's not. I just hope that it's not gonna be like Guild Wars. I really don't want it to be like, you know, for maybe the next expansion that they're gonna add some stuff to it, but then the expansion after that, it's gonna be like, oh, homesteads, what is that? You know, and like have like maybe a couple of decorations for every festival added and nothing new ever again. You know what I mean? Because then it feels like it's like, oh god, you added another system and then you went ahead a couple years later and abandoned it, right? That's like ArenaNet's MO. They introduced like a really cool system, a really cool thing, really well fleshed out, really well thought out, and then they abandon it for something new and shiny, and it's like you're adding another new system into the game, you know? So, but nonetheless, like I said, I'm excited for it. I'm here for it, and we'll see. I'm sure people are gonna come up with some great things. Yeah, the ESO housing lacks right now for me in mannequin for mana for armor and weapons. When in Guild Wars 2, you can put your whole character with them. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it is like I said, they went very full on, like going in there, adding the system. It's really good. It's shaping up to be really, really nice. I'm very, very excited for it. For the you know, not again, not for myself, but for the people that have been asking for it, because it sounds exactly what people wanted, right? And that's always cool. I really love when ArenaNet adds something, and they do the best iteration of that system that they can, right? Like the mount system, for example. You know, like I think the mount system is like the best that they possibly could have done, right? And I love that because it's like, okay, you're gonna commit to adding mounts into the game, okay, but you have to make it like really good, okay? And it is really good. I really, really like it. And it's been expanded, and that particular system has been expanded on. You know, it's a prime example of something that has worked, where they have been expanding because they have been adding new mounts over the years, adding new skills to it, adding new abilities, adding like new actual mounts to it, you know, that sort of thing. Like they have taken that system and they have done really well with that. Like mounts are a really, really good example of something that I would like to continue seeing. Okay, you have a base system. We got the base 5 or whatever mounts it was, right? And then you kept adding to it, right? We get the roller beetle, the sky skill, the turtle, the war claw. You know, you're expanding. Then you expanded on the sky skill even more. Then now we're expanding on the war claw even more, right? And throughout the seasons, you added abilities through the mastery system. So you're using two separate systems interacting with another, right? Because you have the mastery system and you have the mount system, and they're kind of interacting with another with each other. And I think it worked out really well for the mount system. So that is something that I want to continue seeing. You know what I mean? So giving you guys prime examples of things, kind of comparing that, you know, those two things. So anyways, I know we're probably going to continue talking about it tonight because it's very excited. I know all of you guys are very excited, which is really cool. You know, it's always cool because I get very hyped when other people get hyped. Like I hype myself up, but it's always like, it's one of those things when you get hyped and then you see other people not get hyped and you're kind of just like, man, only I'm getting hyped and like other people are not. But it's really cool because I feel like as a whole the community is super hyped about the system, and I think it like a lot of people are like, oh my god, Jam Wilds is shaping up to be really good, and it gives me so much hope for the expansion and for like people like actually like, I feel like with today's presentation, so to say, with today's article and stuff, that they like probably have swayed some people's minds, where there might have been people that were kind of on the fence about pre-purchasing like Janthia Wilds and like engaging with the expansion, and they saw today's thing and they were like, you know what, I'm gonna pre-purchase. I have to, because it's really freaking good. It's shaping up to be really good, and that's exciting too. That I love. I'm happy for everyone asking for housing, but personally, I am most excited for Raid Wing 8. That's my favorite feature of the expansion. Um, let's hope, right? I saw a lot of concerns from people because based off of the last two fractals that we had that are completely like in shambles, and apparently even with today's update, they're still kind of in shambles. At least the Lonely Tower one is. So, a lot of people are like, kind of about it. So we'll have to see. Also, doing those swimsuits and summer stuff is expensive. For it, and not only, um, yeah, it's very expensive. It's very. I didn't buy it. I might buy it. I don't know. I'm poor, guys. I cannot drop like 2,800 gems. What is it? Like 2,800 gems altogether for that big for all of the things, the chairs and all the swimsuits and all the different sets and stuff. Like I can't. I would love to. Like if I had the money, I would drop it. But I don't really have that money. So, my recommendation is for people that haven't bought Janthia Wilds to buy like the deluxe version of it, the deluxe edition, because you get like 4,000 gems or whatever if you buy like I think the deluxe is like the highest or whatever, and that is more than enough gems to get those swimsuits. So there's something there, I guess. But other than that, I don't. I'm like, so, anywho, that's okay. Maybe at some point I'll buy it. Maybe I'll miss out on it. Who knows? Who knows? Anyways, so let's kind of recap. Um, so the first couple of streams that we did, which was my computer crashed, so we did like 2 in one night. But the we kind of learned about like being in Sunspear, living on Istan, like how the whole idea with like Cormier, is the leading woman in charge of the Sunspears here in Istan. How they're kind of like the military of Elona. They're there for all 3 provinces, and we kind of were rising up in the ranks and stuff. That was kind of like the first couple of things that we did, right? Then last night we started getting more into the actual like the depth of this campaign or whatever. Where we started hearing about Nightfall. We started talking about Nightfall with some characters. Varish Asa, who's the war marshal of Korna, came to is in Istan right now, and she brought her generals with her. And it was very surprising because it was a simple trade mission, only to find out that she and her mentor, who's one of her generals, is her mentor. And they're asking about Nightfall, and they retrieved something that has something to do with something with Abaddon from the Fariner, from the first city. And we kind of with Cormier together, we kind of investigated, but then unfortunately, the undead that were sealed within the first city, just because we kept excavating it with 2 separate teams, and then we entered ourselves, actually opened up the sealed city and let a bunch of undead out. So so they were spreading across the island. They were kind of going where life went, because they're undead, so they were attracted towards where life is. So they weren't going towards the bog to the south, but they were going to like the big cities and stuff. So Narashi's team, Squat, kind of took care of the northern half, and then she told us, yeah, take care of the southern isles down here, and we did that, and we traveled through here, kind of just did like a trip through these isles. I think, yeah, we're gonna come back to these isles. There's a couple of things we still have to do. We're still on Istan, and there's still a lot of things going on. But at the same time, so now we hear about this. We also saw in the cinematic there was a little girl that listened in on Varish Asa and General Kayet, her mentor, talking about Abaddon. We don't know who she is, and she was just in the cinematic. And like all these things are happening all at once, like very suddenly this is happening. There's a ship that docked in the Sun Docks, which, remember, we have the regular docks here in Kamadan. On the other side, we have the regular docks. Then we have the docks here, which is for the Sun Spears, and then we have the docks for the consulate docks on the northern side. So, but the Sun Docks are now occupied pretty much by the Zaishin Order, they're here, and yeah, and we're kind of just like, okay, why does the Zaishin Order, uh, we heard about it, so Zaishin General has requested the presence of any who had contact with the creatures that they found in paradise. That's a great point. Their marketing for the housing was great. Having a popular press platform showcase their system in a very thoughtful way and comparing it to other games, that was excellent. It really was. I mean, it's and that's very important, right? I've talked about this so much where the marketing has been so crappy for a long time. Um, and there's so many things where I'm like, man, ArenaNet could really like advertise some of these things. And I think that article, that PC Gamer article, is a really good idea, because it is not an article that they're releasing, right? So here's my thing, right? I think ArenaNet did a really smart thing with having PC Gamer do this, right? Because that is extra, like you said, that's extra like marketing. It's not them releasing an article that they spread through social media, right? Because their reach is pretty limited only to the people that are already playing Guild Wars 2. Now, PC Gamer releasing an article with a really good video attached to it about this new housing system, they have a wider reach because they're PC Gamer, right? They're for their articles go to, they're gonna be ads for that everywhere, right? They're gonna be reaching people playing WoW, Final Fantasy 14, Elder Scrolls Online, like other online games like Baldur's Gate 3 and stuff like that. Like, that news article is gonna go out to a lot of other people that are not Guild Wars 2 players. So while it is a preview for the veteran players, it is also a huge marketing tool for ArenaNet. So that is a very smart move, and it's something that I'm very excited for, because it wasn't just a very simple like Q&A interview article, or it wasn't just like a simple like, yeah, we got a first impression, we got to go in and we got to try it out, and it's not just like an article, it's a video actually showcasing a lot of the things that you can do, and it was very well done, and it was very high quality and very interesting. And like I said, I was very excited to have someone that actually plays Guild Wars 2 actively doing it, rather than some person that has never played Guild Wars 2 and doesn't really know how exciting this new system actually is. The guy that did it, Phil Savage, like, he really seems to know about Guild Wars 2, its current state, the things that have been happening. So it is a really good tool, and I think that's very smart. Whoever thought that up did a really nice job. So definitely. Boom, I arrived. Mish King is here. Funny how I dislike those NPCs with collections in Guild Wars 1 that give you cool armor and weapons for certain materials, but I would love it in Guild Wars 2. Yeah, that is a cool thing, right? I kind of like that as well. I would like that too. Took all the gold I have and a friend help to get this bikini package. 1,000, no regrets, love it. So you are now a Bikini King. Instead of Mish King, you're changing your name now to Bikini King. Yeah, I haven't gotten it yet, so unfortunately, but maybe I'll get it at some point. Who knows? Who knows? All right. Let's go in. Let's go in. Super exciting. I mean, I might get them as well. I don't know yet. So, we'll see. Here's our team. These are our current members of the Sun Spirits that we have. We were introduced to Milani last night. She is a Sun Spear from Korna, where apparently Koss is from. We didn't know that about Koss. We found that out about Koss. These demons have shown up in Kamadan because of the Apocrypha, I'm sure of it. Now we have to make up for that mistake before Istan is overrun with them. So Dankor giving us a little bit of insight, like a current events thing. Where would you be without my help? Alright, Koss, calm down. But yeah, and then we have Dankor, our strategist. So we have a pretty solid team. And they have been along with us on their journey with some random builds that I that I put together. Nothing exciting, nothing crazy, and I don't know what this creature is. Get out of here. some kind of weird fly that just landed on this one. Toss. Looks like I'm wearing jogging yoga biker shorts. There's a cool mix of bikini top and medium pants version of the bottoms from 4 Secrets of Deep Sea spit from Astral Acclaim. Let's go, Digikuma. Welcome you guys. Hello everyone. I'm glad you're all here today. It's good seeing all you guys. Jacob, Mishking, Digikuma, NM. It's really good to see you guys. Yeah, I think there's some really cool fashion that you can do. I mean, I know it's like pretty much just like wearing dyeable underwear, you know, but who doesn't like to make sexy characters in games, right? Like, let's get real. These days, it is super normal to do that and to have those options. And honestly, I would rather have like revealing sexy clothes than those like nightmarish infusions that look like you're like a supernova. You know, I'd rather take that than, you know, whatever, like that. Anyways, let's continue. So, the Zaishin have trained and defended this world for eons. I fear this may be our darkest hour. The Zaishin have predicted this world for eons. Jesus, she repeats herself. But this is General Yurukaro of the Zaishin Order. We are the mortal servants of the war god Balthazar, where his blades wielding his power upon this world. Spearmaster Raleigh, I do not know if you have heard what dark events have transpired at the tombs of the primeval kings. The heart of this darkness lies somewhere here within Ilona. We came as soon as we could, and it seems we're just in time. Just in time for what? The darkness you faced in Fairner was a long-forgotten evil, ancient and deadly. That malevolent knowledge now spreads, using the minds that touch us to rupture reality and flood our realm with tormented minions. It is called Nightfall. The one you call Cormier knows this. We must speak with her. Wait, can you not feel it? The very air crackles with malignant energy. The smell is terrifying. Come, we must hurry before all is lost. Prepare your party to fight. The ruptures are upon us. So, because of what happened in Fairner, as far as we understand it, things are spreading. Demonic energies are spreading out. There's ruptures in reality happening. Nightfall is slowly coming. And in the Tomb of the Primeval King, which is to the north, we see kind of a breach as well. Which when we actually went in prophecies to the Tomb of the Primeval Kings, we could actually see the tentacles, just like we saw them in the first city right here in the inner. You can kind of see it on the screen. There's the tentacles inside of the inner chamber. The same thing is happening at the Tomb of the Primeval Kings. So Cormier knows about this. This is happening, and we're kind of getting blindsided. But the Zaishin Order is here to we're here to not only inform you, but we're also here to help you close these ruptures that are happening, and face this evil that's called Nightfall. Dommy mommies. My Safari looks good, but let's be real, the sexiest bikini wearers are Norn female. I shall focus on the content in front of me now. No, it's fine. I mean, we can talk about those things. I mean, I get it. It's really, to me, like I said, it's so joyous to see the community excited for things like that. You know, it's something that I feel like a lot of people have been kind of wanting, and it's kind of good to see those things happen, you know. So, all right, we're ready. So let's, Commandant is being overrun with these ruptures, and we actually have a couple of acolytes here from the Zaishin Order. So we have Sasuke here. Understanding is half the battle. The other half is fireballs. I like him. Actions, not words, define a Zaishin. Also very good. So here's Lonai. Remember, she was part of the of Narashi's group, and then we have First Spear David, who we've already known. He was our like initial trainer or whatever, right? He was kind of he was there. So we're journeying in, and we have to defend against Nightfall. Cormier is here as well. You guys will see Elder Zul is here. So we have some prominent figures here. Atak, Rojas just died, but that's okay. That's not canon. He will return. We just kind of, because I have to talk all the time, we let a friend die. So there you go. That just happened. Awesome. Love it. Love everything about it. But yeah. So there's Attack and Roges hanging out over here. And yeah, so demons are spreading across the lands. Nightfall is upon us, friends. Don Caro is getting body blocked, and he died. Roges is level 20, and he died. Very sad. Cormier, tell us about this darkness. You have seen it before, have you not? I have. I fear your presence means it's already begun in Cantha and Tyria as well. Okay, there's Narashi. It has not. It most certainly will soon. We wish you to accompany us as we follow other signs. You must see this through with your own. You must see this through with your own eyes. Elder Zul, I must leave to do this. The knowledge I can gain may help save all of Elona and the world beyond. My sun spears are more than capable of handling things in my absence. And there's Elder Zul here. Indeed, if in your travels you find allies to aid us, so much the better. Tentacles, I've seen enough. Something was blocked there. But I know what it says. To know where this is going. Then I will leave at once. You know my suspicions, Elder, about who is behind all this. I may find the proof I need to convince even you. And then the general says, we shall leave behind some of the Zaishin order to defend Istan. Elder Zul says, very well, may the five gods protect you. And we said, wait, before you go, what is this Nightfall? Cormier says, Nightfall is an old legend, a warning of the end of days. If we act swiftly, we can avoid that fate. I trust you to carry out my orders, Spearmaster Arali. Remember, you never fight alone. So, a lot of stuff gets dropped on us very quickly. So it looks to be that we kind of we activated something through going into the first city. Okay, it seems that like the Apocrypha was just like in a herald to things to come kind of thing. And it's very much like, okay, what's going on? Like all of a sudden demons are popping up out of rifts, and the Zaishin order is like, we've seen signs at the primeval tomb, tomb of the primeval kings, and we're here to kind of venture around and not just help Istan, but we're going to be traveling around. So Cormia is now gathering allies from Tyria and Cantha, going there, preventing Nightfall there, trying to get some of these people, right? That's where the other campaigns kind of converge now, because she's going out and adding allies from around other continents to help us fight against this. So she says, my sun spears are more than capable of taking care of things here in my absence. So she is leaving, but we're still kind of having to prevent Nightfall. And Nightfall isn't a celestial event like we were led to believe. Remember in the Astrolarum we heard about the emissary talking about, oh yeah, Nightfall is some kind of like, that's what people are like, it's some kind of weird celestial event, but it doesn't seem to be a celestial event, more so than it's just Cormier is describing it as an old legend, a warning of end of days. So there's definitely something going on. But it's interesting when we talk about celestial events, right? Because remember that Nightfall is, kind of Abaddon breaching out of the Realm of Torment, bringing the Realm of Torment onto Tyria, right? So it's almost like he's converging the Realm of Torment with Tyria, and we will see that more in effect later. As we venture through the campaign, we're going to see that more. That Nightfall is like kind of actually like happening, and it's turning the real world into like a Realm of Torment. So it's kind of like he's merging the two realms together, which is super interesting because I talked about this many times. I still have this theory that the mists in Guild Wars are actually like, it's actually space, and the stars that we see out on the night sky are actually the different like lights that we see in the night sky in the world of Guild Wars is actually like different realms across the myths. Like that's kind of my theory, because because if if that theory ends up being true, then Nightfall indeed is a celestial event, because that would mean that we're merging with one of these stars that is up in the night sky. Our world is merging with one of them, which would be the realm of torment, and that is kind of a celestial event if you're thinking about that, right? Um, so what will we be in Janthia Wallace? We were the commander, boss, wayfinder. I think they're probably sticking with the wayfinder just because Isgarin is going to be there, and I have a feeling I don't know. I have a feeling it's going to be a mix between Commander. So it's going to be like the newer people from the Secrets of the Obscure expansion are probably going to call us. That's my feeling. Like, we're not going to get another new title. I feel like it's going to be Wayfinder for like Isgarin. And then it's going to, like, Isgarin and Livia are going to call us Wayfinder. Where Kaith and Anise and like those people are going to call us Commander. You know, I think it's going to be a mix of that, because it doesn't have to be exclusively one or the other. But I don't know. Who knows? We'll have to kind of see. I don't know. They haven't really talked. They haven't really talked about the story at all. Like, two things they really have been hush hush about is the story and the Coden. Like, those things are like very hush hush. We don't even know why we're going to the like why we're going where we're going. You know what I mean? Like, when they introduced Secrets of the Obscure, they showed us that, like, hey, we're getting involved with the Wizard's Tower because the Wizard's Tower had disappeared. And we knew about rifts opening up and demons coming into the realm, right? So it's like, oh, okay. And we knew about how the Astral Ward were kind of like protectors of, you know, against anything from the mist. So it all kind of like fit together and it made sense. And it's something that we found out like pretty early on. But the thing is, like, we have nothing like that. We know nothing about anything concerning Janthia Wilds in that sense. So I don't know if it's on purpose hush hush, if there's some kind of like a big lore bomb that they're dropping on us with the story where it's like, oh yeah, this is happening, and that's why we've been kind of quiet about it, because we didn't want to, you know, we kind of wanted to ramp up to that or something. Not sure, but we'll have to see. And Titans. Wait, what? I'm hyped because we finally have new stuff. Spear alone sold me, but housing is a nice bonus. And Titans. Because I bet those wood creatures will have chalk animations. They probably will. They probably will be reused assets, I think, on those wood elementals or whatever they are. Bark elementals or whatever. They're probably going to be reused assets. But yeah, Titans is going to be really interesting to see what we're going to get. Housing. The spear, I mean, the spears are shaping up to be really cool. And I'm very excited for Thursday when we get to try them out. I think we will meet a faction of those wood creatures that will be sentient and talk to us. I mean, perhaps, right? We don't know anything about them because they've talked about titans, right? But are those considered a type of titan? Are those creatures like a type of titan? Like, we've heard about titans, but it's that what we're seeing in the trailer? Are those like weird like wood elementals? Are those titans? Like, we don't really know. And we don't really know what the point is, right? Like, is it gonna be you know, like I said, is it gonna have something to do with the like Golden Lake of Janthier? Like, why are these trees like that we see in the trailer like infused with this weird power that we also see in the wood elementals? Like, it seems like something is getting infused into the environment and making it sentient and attacking us. So is it something that's like actively, like, is it a creature that's pumping? Like, is it one of the titans that's pumping this power into the thing, or does it have to do with the Golden Lake of Janthier, or what is it, right? We don't really know. So of course we will. They will make another Choya Quaggins cutie thing for people to love. You know, it's a fan favorite. People are gonna love it. And yeah, they're probably gonna have some cutesy wood elementals that are gonna be like Quaggins or something. And that was my favorite part in season 3. Oak Hearts that we talked to. Yeah, talking about the druids that we have and Draconis Mons and stuff. Very interesting that you picked that as your favorite thing. I think that's such a niche thing, because that kind of gave us a little bit of insight into like Melandru a little bit, because Melandru, I want to say, out of all the different gods, Melandru is probably the least talked about, right? Like, Balthazar obviously was a crap ton during season 3. Lissa in conjunction was kind of there as well because there was some kind of connection between the two of them. So Lissa was kind of mentioned a little bit as well there. Duena was, during the Or storyline, we kind of heard about her, with Malcor and stuff like that. There was a big portion of that where in Malcor's Leap you can kind of get a little bit of background behind not just her, but also Gren, who is her son, right? And so you kind of get a little bit, with Doom, we get interaction, like, going into the underworld and doing that raid wing. We get info on not just Grant, but Doom as well. So we kind of have, like, info on all the different gods. Cormia we actually physically interacted with during Path of Fire. But the one that hasn't really been talked about is Melandru, right? And it's like, it's kind of like, man, that was kind of like a glimpse how these druids follow Melandru, and they called Draconis Mons like a garden of Melandru. I think they called it, right. This is like a secret garden to Melandru and stuff. So it's very interesting. When I did the map comparisons, or not the map comparison streams, when we did the playthrough, when we finished the playthrough of Prophecies, and we were on the Fire Island chain, it was really cool to see the, like, top of the volcano that we're actually in during season 3 actually out on the map in Guild Wars 1. You can actually see the tip of Draconis Mons in Guild Wars 1. I thought that was really cool, so they removed the Lissa mirror from that cutscene. Wait, you mean that cutscene where we reveal Balthazar to be the bad guy? They took that mirror away? When did this happen? So ArenaNet retconned that part of the story, probably so they don't confuse people. But did they change the dialogue though? Like, because the dialogue's still, like, in a lot of ways, like, specifically, like, the very end of Path of Fire, Balthazar is cursing all the other gods beside Lissa. Does he curse Lissa now? There's still hints between them two having something going on between each other, like whether they're lovers or there's something else, like going, like whether they were friends or partners in crime or whatever, right? Like something is going, like, it's kind of weird removing that mirror from the I don't the mirror he drops. Yeah, they removed that from the cinematic. I'm gonna have to go back and replay that now. When did this happen? When was this changed? But in the mirror he drops, it's not there anymore. Really? That is crazy to me because I haven't played that story in a long time, so it'd be very interesting. Huh, I might have to check that out sometime. Interesting. But anyway, so kind of going back to Nightfall being a celestial event, like I said, my standing theory is still that when we see the map of the mists and the map of the all and, like, all this stuff, like, I still think that the night sky is the mists. And I mean, it's not the night sky now that we're looking at, but, like, space is the mists and all these different. That's why I think we saw, like, the two new planets the two new stars that appeared in the night sky have, like, some kind of meaning. I have a feeling that maybe the red one. Here's my theory, guys, and I've had this theory for a while now, and I didn't really want to put it into words, but if my theory about the night sky being the mist, like, maybe this is a supporter of it. So the two new stars that we see in the night sky, one of them is red, okay? And so maybe I'm thinking, like, so if this theory holds true that the stars in the night sky are different realms across the mists with an S at the end, mists, then the red one could be like Nios. Maybe it was an indicator that Nios was, like, maybe, like, approaching or, like, connecting to our realm more, like the veil between the realms has kind of thinned out, and that maybe led into that or something. Like, maybe that was part of it. Like that's why all of a sudden that star appeared, that red star, because Nios is all red, right? So maybe the veil was thinning, so we could see Nios in the night sky more because um, they were invading maybe more often or something. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. You know, we don't really know. We don't really know when the Lonely Tower fractal actually happens in the timeline, but uh, it actually happens a long time ago, so I can't really say that that is why. But I don't know. Maybe something. Maybe there's a reason for that. But I just find it. You know, if we go with the theory of the night sky is the mists, then there's a red star that appeared in the night sky, and we have a realm that's very red themed. Uh, you know, and that being Nios, so maybe there's something there. I don't know. Probably a year ago by now, maybe more. I'm gonna have to check that out because that is really interesting that they would go and kind of retcon it. Because it's like, because you say probably so they don't confuse people, but it's like I feel like how are they confusing people by just removing the mirror? Like it's not really. I don't know. It's like okay, he has a mirror of Lissa. Like I don't think removing the mirror is really gonna change the that much in the story. Like I feel like it's not like oh my god, now that the mirror is gone, I'm not so confused anymore because before it was just like really throwing me off. Like it's just kind of like this weird little detail, and it seems really strange to take out. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, perhaps, but we're so many expansions past that point now, where it's just like, well, you know, and it's like I mean, maybe they're preparing something with the gods, and they figured, you know, maybe a year ago or before that, and they were like, yeah, we're slowly moving into like a story about the gods or something. Like maybe that's why they kind of retconned it, and they were like, well, you know, we want to have Lissa in there, but we don't want her involved with Balthazar or something. I don't know. It still seems kind of weird, because I feel like they could they the thing is I want some congruency between the different storylines, and having something from a long time ago like the Alyssa's mirror appearing in Balthazar's hand and being used to disguise himself, um kind of finding like a resolution later, like years later when we're actually dealing with Lissa in an expansion, would be really cool. I hate that they go back and retcon something just so they can fit whatever new story they want to do. Like, you know, one thing about having a universe is like you want to build on existing things that are in the universe. So you've created this lore bit that we've been um you know, theorizing about for a long time, where we're like, what's the connection between the two things? Now going back and retconning that is kind of annoying to me. Like I'm kind of like, okay, whatever. So, but yeah, I don't know. I agree with you, but the reasoning that was the reasoning I heard. I mean, I feel like we're never gonna get the true reasoning behind that. It'll be evident. It'll be evident once that content comes out, and we can look at it and we can be like, yep, okay, that's why they did it, because they wanted Lissa to be this and this, and it ended up not being this and this, right? So I don't know. Um, maybe we're gonna, guys. We have Jenna and Anise appearing in the in the next expansion. Maybe they're gonna drop hints that finally the theory that's been so prevalent throughout the years that Jenna and Anise are are Lissa, maybe they're gonna drop some hints because Isgarin knows a lot, and Isgarin is gonna be interacting with both of them, Lissa and Anise. So maybe there's gonna be some kind of hints where Isgarin is gonna talk about, oh yeah, the gods, right? He was very condescending towards the gods, and he kind of was just, like looking down on that, and he's very just like he's very much like yeah, they're not really gods, and he doesn't respect them in that way. So uh with the little mesmer girl, that is super. Yeah, the little the mesmer, the mesmer collective that they have, That is gonna be very interesting. Or was that before? It was before Secrets of the Oh, I don't know. Was that before End of Dragons or Secrets of the Obscure? Oh, I don't know. I can't remember either. It doesn't really matter because it doesn't really have anything to do with anything. But yeah, that is super. That storyline is still like the Mesmer Collective and like all that. What's going on with that? We might get some hints to that, right? Like clearly Anise and Casimir and stuff are like involved with them. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm sure Jenna is part of that too. So it'll be interesting to see because it's like these multiple layers of secret organizations, right? Because we have like so the Seraph are like the police force of Kryta, right? The military, the police force, like that's kind of the Seraph, right? But then we also have the Shining Blade, which are the queen's personal like guard and like her like they're not just like they're not just military, but they're also like investigative, and they kind of have like other purposes uh, beyond that, because they were like Mersats are the ancient enemies and White Mantle and blah blah blah, all this stuff, right? But then having another layer of that where we have the Mesmer Collective, which is not human based, right? Because the girl that we, or not the girl, but the woman that was involved in that quest line was a Savari. So it looks like the Mesmer Collective has like other non-humans in it, being like they're a part of that as well. Like having all these like secret organizations is very interesting. Tons of money not giving Asura boobs. No worries, one day we'll get dwarves beat a big boobed short stacks. Oh my god. That is insane. You guys are crazy. Alright, anyways, let's continue. Enough talking about all that. So, I pray this is the end of this madness, but I doubt it will be. Perhaps Cormir will find some answers with the Zaishin. She's left orders for what to do during her absence. I doubt everyone will be happy about them. Speak with me when you're ready to carry them out. Okay. Cormir ordered me to take care of her council responsibilities. Okay, so the council responsibilities that she has are now falling on First Spear David, okay? She wants you to coordinate defensive preparations with Field General Hayao of the Zaishin, and also deliver her orders of field promotion to the acting Spear Marshal while she's away. Okay, so field promotion to the acting Spear Marshal. So we're getting an acting Spear Marshal while Spear Marshal Cormier is not here. Okay, it's not us. Someone is going to be put in charge. The big news is that she's appointing Jarek. He's a tried and true member of the Sun Spears, so I can see why Cormier would appoint him. He'll certainly keep things running. He's not really much of a warrior, but he's a great scroll tender. Anyway, go speak to Field General Hayao, then take these orders to Jarek. Oh, you might want to talk to Castle and Puba before you deliver Jarek's orders. They used to be friends. So we hear about Jarek. Jarek is taking over. We don't know anything about Jarek, but apparently he's not a warrior, but more of a scholar type person, which is okay because we're kind of like the hand of Cormier in a way, where we're like the ones acting out her will, right? So it's okay that he's not big of a warrior. We'll take that place. It's fine. Asura is fine. Look at gnomes in WoW, and we can't give char boobs. They would need to add 6. That would increase sales of guilds just so much. Blizzard would go bankrupt. You guys are insane. That's funny. I could not. Okay, honestly, I'm gonna be honest. Like adding boobs to Asura, like that would be the worst thing ever because that would not look right. You know what I mean? Like that wouldn't look right. So, or it could still be there on the floor, but there's no longer a cutscene that zooms in and lingers on it. You have to look at the floor and discover the Easter egg yourself for the hand mirror. Is that right? Okay. Interesting. Nonetheless, it seems doing any changes involving that mirror seems very interesting. So let's talk to these guys. So these were the acolytes of the Zaishin Order that we got to see. Acolyte Jin says, my family was killed because they weren't prepared for danger. The Zaishin rescued me. I vowed to prepare myself for the perils of life and learned the ways of the bow from an early age. Lead me through danger and my arrows will darken the sky above your path. Very cool. She's a dark broody type that has lost her family, but she's ready and prepared to go. Then we have Sosuke. Well, good day. My name is Sosuke. You're lucky you've come upon me in a good mood. I've fried people for looking at me like that. Haha, just kidding. I'm usually very careful with my elemental magic. I wouldn't hurt a fly. Well, perhaps if it was Cornin. Okay, so he's not a fan of Corna. So that's interesting. Alright, so let's talk to the field general. Special delivery. Okay, so he says, we will deploy our Zaishin around the areas you have requested. I must say you have quite the tactical mind and would do well as a Zaishin. I was impressed by your fighting abilities against the darkness. Some of our Zaishin trainees could learn from example. Talk to me again if you're interested. Okay, so with the darkness upon us, the Zaishin and the Sunspheres must ally with each other. We cannot sacrifice our numbers and still hold Nightfall at bay and camp the Ant area. As a sign of our solidarity in this war, and our trust in you, I offer you the opportunity to train one of my most powerful and promising acolytes. Your success shows you are a natural leader. Consider this a great honor. The way of the Zaishin is forged in combat, by blood and steel. We will test you the Zaishin way. When you're ready, meet us in the plains of Jaran. Okay, so now we get to actually choose between Sasuke and Jin. Okay. Well, I find it weird how before Secrets of this year released articles, ArenaNet said we would get Dark Force story Elden Ring like. Yeah, we didn't really get that. I feel like anytime ArenaNet says that they're gonna do like dark macabre stories, they kind of fall flat on their face. Like they said this very heavily before Iceboot Saga came out. They were talking about, they were like, oh yeah, Iceboot Saga, it's gonna be a super dark and macabre story going into the mountains, and we're dealing with the Bone Skinner being this horror that kind of pops out of nowhere, and they kind of like take away people, and we see that in the first 2 episodes, and then that completely disappears from the table, and it's like, okay, we kind of had this for 5 minutes, and it's kind of like gone, and it was kind of fun for 5 minutes, and then it was gone. And I feel like it was the same with the cryptids, where it's just like, okay, they're kind of scary for the first 5 minutes, but then once you go to Nyos, it's just like, oh no, they're actually like Quaggons that are scared, and they're not really scary themselves, so okay. Oh yeah, that's right. That's just salt to the injury. Yeah, I don't know. All right. So here we are. So which one are we taking, guys? Are we taking Sosuke or Jin? Which one do you guys want? Vote right now. Just say whichever one you want, and I'll see whoever gets the most votes. I'll pick. Because I don't care either way. Honestly, I don't really care. We're just adding another teammate. So. Scarlet was best villain we got. I always assume if we let her be, she would fight dragons or at least Mordramoth. No, she was fighting Mordramoth for a long time, but when you read the books and the journals and stuff like that, she kind of falls. Because her mind was opened up to Mordramoth, she like learned about the eternal alchemy because of Omad's machine. She kind of opened up this. She became vulnerable to Mordramoth's influence, and she was fighting that for a long time, and then she didn't kind of like what she was trying to do, and what, like, researching and doing these things and whatever, right? And what Mordramoth wanted her to do, kind of just, she couldn't tell by the end of it anymore, and so she ended up creating the Breachmaker, which she built to awaken Mordramoth, right? And it's like, she probably wouldn't have fought him by the end. He probably would have taken her mind completely. So I doubt. And I don't think she was the best villain, because she was like, she had like a lot of like, where did she all of a sudden, like, she built the marionette, she built the giant Breachmaker, they just appeared out of nowhere. It was a little bit of that was kind of strange to me as well, where we didn't get any hints as to that happening. She was like making these uneasy alliances with like these other enemy factions and stuff, which wasn't a bad idea, but it was just kind of like, it was just kind of like out of left field, a lot of the things. So I appreciated the cryptas a little more after doing the collections where you find them food. I appreciated them even less after that, because they were incredibly humanized, and that's not how demons work. Okay, like demons and the way that ArenaNet has always presented, and this is the thing, because ArenaNet retconned what demons were, right? ArenaNet set a precedence with specifically Nightfall, actually, on how demons are, about how demons are in the world of Guild Wars. The initial release of Secrets of the Obscure reiterated that and said, yep, demons are evil, they want to take over your mind. It was kind of crazy, and they're evil straight through. Like, we didn't meet any good cryptids at all, and then all of a sudden we go to Nyos and we find out that, hey, they're actually like nice, and they actually don't want to have war, and blah blah blah, all this stuff. And it's like, really? And we just find this out now? That, like, that's one of the biggest parts that really grinds my gears. It's like that we all of a sudden find out that they're like good or whatever. She had a split personality that splintered off, thinking she was her own entity and thoughts, but it was all more dramatic. Yeah, exactly. So it was just kind of like her mind was just kind of like, it was such a mess, because she like tried to do these things, and then like opening up herself to the eternal alchemy and kind of like distant kind of made her vulnerable, and then like Mortimer's influence, and it all kind of became this, like, that's why you see parts of her where she kind of has a normal speaking voice, and then she has that moments where she has that maniacal like laugh, right? And where she's just like crazy, and it's kind of like, oh, there's this like weird split personality thing going on. So I liked Anka a lot after playing through End of Dragons twice. Anka was interesting. I feel like Anka, again, was one of those villains that was super underused. I feel like there wasn't really a resolution to her story. She kind of just popped up, and then we hear about all these things going on with Anka, and then we just kind of kill her in the end. I feel like, while I liked her as an enemy, I feel like there wasn't really enough of a payoff in the end of what she really was. So, and I kind of feel like my turn was wasted on her a little bit, that whole part of that. Best villain was Joko for me, and second best would be Bangar, despite the tragedy that was Iceboot Saga. Joko underutilized. ArenaNet is so quick to like create new villains and just kind of drop them. If I had to place my favorite villain, in all of Guild Wars 2, favorite villain of all of Guild Wars 2, I would probably have to say Balthazar. Just because there was like, we really saw the journey that he was such an asshole, but we did see the journey that he took. And I really like that, because I feel like as a bad guy, he ended up being really fleshed out, and by the end of it, I got so sick and tired of his ass. Not in the sense of like, God, I don't want to deal with Balthazar, but it's like, I really want to kill him. Like, I really want to kill him. You know what I mean? Like, with Joko, I didn't really get that. With Scarlet, I didn't really get that. I mean, Scarlet, I got that a little bit. With Anka, I didn't really get that. But with Balthazar, I really think, like, Bangar was good, too. Bangar was good, but again, the payoff at the end, where he became the voice of Jormag, was just kind of like, it's just kind of like he dropped in importance. All of a sudden, he wasn't the big bad anymore, and it was Ryland now. And then Ryland was just like this, he was a crybaby as much as Bram, and he was kind of annoying. It's like, no one wants to, I'm the hero, I'm the cool guy, and I want everyone to follow me. I'm the leader now. Like, it was just kind of whiny and annoying, and I didn't like that, so. Joko was great, and I'm really sad they leave him for a whole episode mini expansion living what. Joko was great. I'm really sad they leave him for whole episode mini expansions, living story, or whatever bigger. I don't know what you're trying to say there. I don't I'm sad that they didn't leave him for other things, for like its own. I guess you're trying to say, I, I, I'm sad that they're not leaving him for other expansions and stuff like that. Which, yes, I think Joko could have been fleshed out more as a villain, and I think he had the potential to be like a really, really interesting, really cool, really. But like I said, during season 4, we didn't even know. Like for the first episode, we didn't even know that he had returned, and we were kind of just like, wait, Joko is back? Like, what's going on with that, right? And then at some point, he just like he's like, ta-da, I'm here, and it's like, whoa, oh, okay. Anko is epic. Such a shame they disposed of her that quickly. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like all the villains, I feel like that ArenaNet has, like many of them have potential, but ArenaNet never realizes that potential. They just kill them off before it's done, like before anything, before anything can come of it. And I kind of hate that. So I think cryptids are a faction of demons, not a representation of all demons. The Oni from End of Dragons are not cryptids. While the Oni are not cryptids, they're still tied to the cryptids, because the lore behind the Oni is that they are, well, some of them are wanderers, right? We know that the wanderer is an Oni. And wanderers, and we were told wanderers, and we actually see wanderers in Nyos, are demons that are not associated with Eparch, right? But they're still there, as far as we know, they're still from Nyos. The original lore of the Oni was actually said to be minions of Kanaxai, which again ties them to the Cryptis. So I don't know. I mean, those demons were, you know, I guess a better example would be like, not all demons are cryptids, because look at the Nightfall demons, right? The hunger, the drought, those are from the realm of torment, and they are other demons. They're not cryptids associated demons. So, hi, welcome, Emily. Sorry, we're trying to play through the game, but there's a lot of discussion happening, and I always love discussion, so we're stopping to talk about it. But I do see your point about the cryptids just being a faction of demons. I just really hated like how the cryptid, like I said, ArenaNet, I don't think Guild Wars 2 is as a game on a big enough scale to say that we can have different factions of demons and say, well, some of them are good and some of them are bad and da 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 and whatever, right? It's just kind of like, that would be like going around and saying, there's different tribes of centaurs that are good and bad, which there are actually, but the problem is ArenaNet has never fleshed that out. So it makes it kind of, I feel like it takes away from the depth of what the centaurs are as a species, because we never explore those other, we never interact with those dry top centaurs enough to really like really feel like, oh yeah, there's different factions, and we don't really get the like scale of how that works and the dynamics between the different things. Like they never explore it, so they're kind of just there, and it's lame. It's just kind of like, man, I wish we knew more about the dry top centaurs. We could interact with them more, talk to them more, like that type of stuff. Like, are there others around? We don't know. And I feel like it's the same with the cryptids. It's like it kind of takes away from what the cryptids are, because now you're saying, well, cryptids are just a faction of demons, and then a faction of the cryptids are nice, and they're not all nice. And it's like, yeah, but then, it's just kind of like it muddies the water of it. I feel like if you're gonna go with like, hey, we have demons and demons have always been evil, then you gotta kind of stick with that. It's like, if you're gonna retcon something like that, then you have to make sure that you flesh that out enough, right? That you take that thought and you really flesh that out. But just adding some cutesy Quaggan and Shoya cryptas in Nyos and saying like, oh yeah, not all cryptas are evil, is kind of a weird cop-outy thing, in my opinion. I feel like I don't muddle or compare the two. Also, ArenaNet fucked up making multiple Kanaxais. It was so cool knowing he was unique demon, but nah, not anymore. Is he in the new? Is he like? How do we? Is there another Kanaxai? Is he one of the new bosses? Didn't someone say he's the new one of the bosses and the Convergence is a Kanaxai type character? I haven't played it, so I don't know. Favorite part of End of Dragons was definitely my Trin. For me as well. I really, 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 I'm so sad that my Trin is gone because I was really waiting for her to be. It would have been really cool to get this like, um, this Illidan type of character that was like for a long time evil, and then now she's on this redemption arc, and she kind of like maybe joins us in the sense of like she's part of like Dragon's Watch maybe. Like I would have loved to have seen my Trin maybe get mentored under Marjorie more, and like Marjorie taking her under her wing and kind of saying like, you know what, I kind of feel like we like, I don't know, kind of like taking her under her wing and saying like, hey, you know what, like I'm gonna show you how to be a good person or whatever, right? Do good deeds or whatever, and then really see a path of redemption for my Trin. And I feel like her death wasn't as impactful as it could have been, because I would have loved to see her, like, having her die is still something I feel like they could do, but I wanted it to be more impactful. I really, what I wanted to happen with my Trin is, like I said, get a true redemption arc in there, and maybe get like, maybe combine that with Marjorie's like path, where like I said, she kind of becomes her mentor, and then by the end, Marjorie has to see her like get killed or something, and it like deepens, like, that's like a loss that Marjorie has to deal with specifically or something. I don't know. I feel like there could have been a better payoff. I'm all for discussion. Hype, dude. Totally, I agree. I don't like new actress for her. Also, they changed her quotes in Fractal, and now it sounds ridiculous. The new voice actress, I liked her. I thought she did pretty well from what I remember. I think she was pretty good. I think the voice acting is top notch anyways, for the most part. I think there's been a couple of times where I'm just like, ooh, that's kind of rough, but I don't mind you play as long as I hear this glorious Nightfall music. Yeah, I know, I'm just kind of sitting here because it's hard to do discussion as we're kind of just doing Umbriel Halberd of House Arcus, new Canaxi. Yeah, I heard about him. So, I heard about him. I haven't seen him. I have no clue. I don't know, I just feel like the Cryptus, kind of going back to the Cryptus thing, I just feel like the Cryptus, I feel like the Cryptus were just kind of like, I don't know, they were kind of like, it was weird. It just felt like there was like weird retcon going on that shouldn't have happened, in my opinion, so. So the vote that we had one vote, and it was Jin, so we're gonna go with Jin. Anyways, let's continue the story, guys. Alright, so we have to fight them, it will be an honor. Show the Saishin, your skill. Alright, let's do it. Alright. Okay.
Jin,
The flamingo walking around.
What is it, Sosuke?
what do you think?
Of what?
That Sunspear leader, of course.
Nice moves. Has potential.
That's it?
That's enough.
Something is going on here in Alona. I can feel it in my bones. This Sunspear is going to be a big part of it.
If you say so. I am just looking for someone to learn from. It is the Zaishan way.
There's nothing about the Zaishan way that says we can't be enthusiastic about what we do.
Okay.
Field General Hayao will allow the Sunspear to train one of us. I hope I am chosen.
I hope so too.
Thank you.
Then I won't have to listen to you jabbering on.
What did you just say?
It's funny, so the little interaction we get there between the two of them, she kind of acts like, they're over there talking, and she kind of acts annoyed because, he's just like super enthusiastic and like, oh my god, that's really cool, I'm super excited, right? And she's just kind of like, oh my god, whatever, right? But her line doesn't really make sense because he says, oh, I hope I get chosen, and she says, yeah, me too, and he's like, oh, thank you, and he's like, and then she's like, well, that way I won't have to listen to you. But I'm like, well, if I pick you, Jin, then you don't have to listen to him as well. So Sosuke was first Weaver. Oh, isn't that the story? Isn't that the story that wait a minute, Oh, I totally forgot about this. Is that is the story, isn't it? Is it? Kind of weird. Wait a minute. I want to find out about that. Wait, wasn't that the whole idea? You're right. Wait, wasn't that the? Oh, I'm watching the Weaver video, which is really cool. Someone tell me, was that the lore of that? Was that the lore? Yeah, there it is. So that's really interesting. I totally forgot about that. It's so funny that you bring that up. I totally forgot about that. It literally says here when you talk to the guy in the Crystal Desert, Folarin Oyakan, Oyakan. Yeah, it literally, yeah, you're right. So long ago, it says, new student, are you? No, you're a visitor. Students all want to change the world. You look like you've actually been out on it, out in it. We have that in common. Are you an elementalist? And he says, yes, no, maybe, both. Technically, yes. I've been trained as a weaver, so I'm not what you would expect. What's a weaver? Long ago, a man named Sosuke, and it's actually misspelled here, traveled the region, earning the favor of the Jinn in exchange for their knowledge of elemental magic. And they taught him something new. Jinn, he found, split their focus, controlling their element and their physical being at the same time. But we're not Jinn. We don't need to control our physical being. So what good does it do you? Master Sosuke learned to split his focus like Jinn do, but he used it to harness the control of multiple elements at once. He became the first weaver. Oh, that's so interesting. I totally forgot about that. Totally forgot about that being a thing. So this guy is the first weaver down there. Sosuke. I live in Florida as well. I live in Florida as well, and I don't too close to home. The flamingos. We have flamingos in Florida. Never seen flamingos. So King, you're dancing with crocodiles too? Hey Blizzard, can't be the only ones that steal from other sources of media and aren't shy from it. They said Zelda and Tomb Raider influences a lot of Heart of Thorns. Hey, I'm totally okay with that. Like I love the things that they added. Like I love that they added the the little the fox spirits that you can find throughout the maps by doing those little puzzles and stuff. It's like one of the best additions that they've had in the last like few years to the map specifically. I love that. It's so cool to me. I really love that. So mostly Miami, but yeah, flamingos are a Florida thing. Really? I mean, I've seen like a lot of flamingo stuff, but I haven't seen actual flamingos. But then again, I don't know. Maybe that's more of a South Florida thing. Well done. Now that you've seen both Sasuke and Jin in battle, you may choose a pupil to train in your image. Speak with me again, and I will arrange the final trial. All right. Ooh, we got some levels here. All right, we're gonna do Jin, guys. The Zacian or Sworn Blades of Balthazar, loyal to the end. You have chosen Jin as your pupil. It is time to show your student what it is to be fierce through actions, not words. Together, you must defeat one of Balthazar's Eternals in combat, only through victory in the face of death. Will you be able to forever bonded with your sister in arms? You will find the Eternal in Zelon Reach. Speaking of that, foxes have been an End of Dragons and Secrets of the Obscure thing. They think they'll just keep carrying that over to change it up. I think they're gonna keep that. I don't think they're gonna change that. I don't think there's a reason for them to change that. I think they're gonna keep those. I think they're gonna keep them, and it's gonna be little spirit foxes, which I'm okay with. I don't think they need to do anything different. It would be kind of cool to maybe see some other, like, I don't know. I don't know, like, what else could you have? I don't know, other spirits or something, but I like it. I think it's cute. I know it's supposed to be like a kitsune thing, you know, from like Japanese or whatever, from Japanese legends and stuff, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, that's good. Let's do it this way. Maybe not. Maybe do 3 in here. Yeah, that's probably better. Just gonna load this again. That's gonna distribute those. Spirit war claws. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, using the little war claws that we saw in the trailer, like using little ones of those. With the new war claw imagery. Yeah, perhaps. I mean, that's a good idea. I could get down with that. Spirit Warclaw mini, please. I just want a mini Warclaw. I don't even want, like, the Spirit Tiger. Yeah, I like the Spirit Tiger, but I want to get a mini, like, an actual, like, it doesn't have to be Spirit. I want to get a mini Warclaw, like, just a mini Warclaw kind of thing. So, alright. We're gonna have to move on. I hope that we can get a crocodile today. Get to the part where we can get a crocodile, but we still have a lot to do before we can get to the bog. So stick with it, guys. We're getting there. All right, there's Acolyte Jin. There's the Eternal, one of Balthazar's Eternal, and we have to defeat him. I'm gonna summon my imp into battle. Go, everyone, attack. Yeah, I know he doesn't bleed. Every time I try to make him bleed, it doesn't work, so he's not made out of flesh. She says, excellent battle. Actually said, ready yourself for battle, Sunspear. The Eternals are not to be taken lightly. And then she says, excellent battle tactics. I'm honored to be trained by one so versed in combat. Alright, so Jin is going to be joining our group. I don't think I'm going to use her very much right now. I kind of want to stick with the sun spears. So as we get 2 areas where we can use 8 people, I will add her into the group. But for now, I'm just not kind of use her. Not really gonna use her, which is okay. We haven't gotten a mini Warclaw yet. I don't know. I don't think we have. I don't think I've seen a mini Warclaw. Interesting. Maybe they'll come in black lion chest statues. Many variations like those mini raptors. Oh, perhaps. Yeah, that's something that they could do. Again, kind of like monetize some of the new models, the new skins that they have, you know. I mean, that's smart, I guess. You know, that's a lot of people might go for that. As her trainer, I think it's best you knew something about your pupil. Jin is from a small town on the Canthan coast, and is mainly self-taught. Her family was slain by monsters when she was a small girl. As an orphan, she focused her sorrow and rage on vengeance. Even before coming to the Zaishin, she was an effective fighter. She's quiet and taciturn? I don't know what... I've never heard that word in my life. Went off the battlefield. Methodical and deadly when on. She never backs down from a fight. Good luck, hero. Go with the blessing of Balthazar. Thank you. So Jin is from a small town on the Canthan coast, mainly self-taught. She can be quiet and taciturn outside of combat, but becomes methodical and deadly in battle. So literally just reiterating what we just learned. And she joins our group. So super cool. We have another hero in the group. Okay. Alright, so that is done. We have a new person, and let's go talk to Castellan Huba. Rising Suns. Okay, I may not leave the Sunspear Great Hall and missions. Oh, yeah, we've already heard that dialogue. Jarek, eh? An interesting choice. Let me tell you about Jarek. He gets along well with the consulate and is responsible in part for our good relations with the Istani. But he was passed over as Spear Marshal when Cormier was chosen, and takes out his resentment on anyone she favors. It was a long time ago, but he has never forgiven her. I tell you this because he may not take well to seeing Cormier's best and brightest come charging into his homestead. He has a place in the Isner Isles, not far from Codlonu Hamlet. Good luck delivering his orders. Ooh, we could bring in new recruits if we wanted to. I don't think we need to do anything here. So, all right. So apparently, we hear a little bit about Jarek. So Jarek is part of the Sunsphere Order, but when it came to deciding on the next, um, on the next big name, I guess the big leading person, they passed over. I don't have anything saved. I'm gonna have to come up with a build for her. What is she using for equipment here? I can get her the bonus spear. Yeah, that's even better than what she has. So I'm gonna give her the bonus spear. I'm gonna do something with poison, probably. I want expertise and marksman. I actually want it the way that she had it, because wilderness survival is gonna have like poison arrow and stuff. Maybe apply poison. That's 15. So I want to kind of get like some AoE in there, and then expertise for the cost of things. Oops. There. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it like that for now. Kind of spread those out, and go with poison. For 11 seconds. I don't know. I'm not good with Ranger at all. I'm just gonna say I have no clue. Volley. Let's do bleeding as well. Let's do that. Keen arrow. Yeah, let's do that. That kind of works with my go for the eyes. I mean, I don't know if that, you know. But whatever. Maybe lightning reflection. A 20-year-old man drives to Florida and attacks a man over a gaming dispute with a hammer. Okay, Rolly, now you can tell us what you... Okay, first of all, I'm not 20 years old anymore. Far from it, unfortunately. But yeah, this is very common in Florida, okay? People in Florida are fucking insane. There's no other way to put that. They're crazy. People around here are crazy. They're crazy. People are wild. Can we do cracked armor? Is there a cracked armor? No, we keep having things that are just like... We keep having things that are like... penetrating, but I want to have something that's crossfire, concussion. Concussion sorry, casting a spell is interrupted, days for 12 seconds, only deals 8 damage. There's no cracked armor on anything here. Hunter shot begins bleeding. I already have that. I was thinking like penetrating attack, but has 10%. Precision shot. Yeah, no. Yeah, those drums, I know they're really nice. Hey, when the law enforcement allows you to kill trespassers on your home turf, you're gonna attract crazies. This music, this is in Dragonfall? Really? I didn't know that. I had no clue. Really? I did not know that. So maybe that's not good right there. I don't know. All of this stuff is super expensive. 555, 10. I'm just trying to go with the cheapest stuff that I have. We'll do arcing shot. And yeah, I'm probably gonna do like a self heal. Because who cares? It doesn't really matter. We'll see how well she does. Anyways, let's go find Jarek. Oh, I gotta throw all this away. Maybe I can use some of this actually. I'm gonna give him this. If we can find something... If we can find something for the main hand for him, that'll probably be better than what he has right now. Actually, I know, yeah, I know this takes domination, but this is probably better just because it's a lot of energy. He doesn't need to do damage anyways, so I'm just gonna give him that. She has that, he has that. Okay, good. We're good. We're good. We're solid. We're good. We're good to do. I need more people in my group. Where is everyone? Down there. Alright, let's take a healer with us. Domination and maybe an earth henchman. Let's try that out. Elementalist. Alright, let's go visit Jarek. Was stuck trapped here for the past 20-25 years. Yeah, I know. I know the feeling. I'm stuck and trapped here as well. Like, God knows I don't want to be, but certainly am. Alright, so let's go deliver the news. So the thing about Jarek is that Cormier was chosen over him. Plain and simple, she was chosen over him. And he's very bitter about it, especially when it comes to people that are, you know, that Cormier favors. I'm trying to avoid this because I think there's like dialogue that happens with this wooden coffin. They have like a ceremony going on there, like a burial ceremony. So kind of like trying not to deal with that. But here's his house. This is where he lives. And yeah, so we have to deliver the news that he's the acting spear marshal of the Sun Spears. Nice little home you got here, Jarek. Cormier's rising star, and he attacks us. We beat the crap out of him. Alright. Hello. There's more to protecting Alona than steel and spells. You've heard the saying that that an army marches on its stomach. Well, without me, you'd all stop marching. Hello? Okay. So Cormier has ordered me out of retirement to become Spear Marshal. I'm surprised, given our past, but it's about time. While she's been dabbling about in the ruins of the old city, the Corsairs have gained unprecedented strength. Well, we shall set the Sun Spears back on the right path. By the time she gets back, Elder Zul will appoint me Spear Marshal. Permanently. Okay, so we now have delivered the news. And he's saying that screw Nightfall, we don't really care. We're taking care of the Corsairs instead. Alright? I can't say everyone will be glad to have Jarek back. We were friends before that mess when Cormier became Spear Marshal. You should be especially careful. He likes to pull rank and tends to lead through intimidation and petty rules rather than action. Talk to me again before you report to him. I can give you some help dealing with the man. Okay. Jarek will most likely assign you some menial task until Cormier returns. Be careful though, he may look for opportunities through your actions to discredit Cormier in front of the council. Don't do anything that would start any trouble. Just keep your head down and your nose clean until Cormier gets back. With that in mind, go report for duty, Sunspear. Alright, we're gonna go report for duty. Where would either of you like to live? I don't know. I would like to live somewhere, first of all, that's not as humid and as tropical. So I would rather live somewhere that has like seasonals. Like I like getting my seasons in. You know, I want to have a proper spring. I want to have a proper summer, a proper fall, and a proper winter kind of thing. If I were to choose anyone. So it would be something like that. You know, if I were to pick somewhere in Florida that I would live, I would probably want to live closer to the beach because I live very far from the beach. Scotland, Ireland, Australia, Japan.